Breaking news, one man has died after being stabbed near the airport overnight.
Let's get the latest now from Matthew Torres, who's on the scene on Mars Drive. So what are police telling you about what happened here, Matthew?
Well, Jennifer, police have been out here first off since 2 o'clock this morning. And if I step aside, you can see that we have at least a couple of officers still out here. They say they're obtaining a search warrant to go through this house. As far as the details of what happened, police are investigating this as a possible domestic situation. This happened around 1:30 this morning when police received that call. They got here to the house in the 1300 block of Mars Drive, just west of the airport, and found a man, a 30-year-old man with multiple stab wounds to his stomach. He was rushed to Vanderbilt overnight, but later died from his injuries. Now, the interesting thing about this, as far as why it is being investigated as a domestic, possibly, is because the victim's girlfriend is now detained, being questioned. We actually saw her being handcuffed, taken away, but at this hour, no charges have been filed. That will all depend on the results of that interview. So back out here live, Mars Drive is currently, part of it at least, blocked off as this investigation continues. As far as the victim's name, that is all still has yet to be released. Reporting live in South Nashville, Matthew Torres, News Channel 5.
Matthew, thank you. And also some breaking news. Brentwood police are investigating a shooting. Sky 5 was over the scene earlier this morning. Just before midnight is when this went down along Old Smyrna Road at the home you see pictured right there. Officers found a 42-year-old man with several gunshot wounds. He went to Vanderbilt Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. If you know anything about this shooting, contact the Brentwood Police Department.
Also breaking news, a motorcyclist is dead this morning after a crash on I-40 East. This happened last night a little after 8 o'clock near exit 207. Metro Police tell us both a vehicle and a motorcycle were involved in this wreck. There's no word yet on what caused it. As soon as police release the name of the victim, we will let you know. Also happening now, officers are looking for the man who they say hit a woman overnight with a truck in North Nashville. Police tell us that a man and his girlfriend were walking down West Trinity Lane when the white GMC plowed into the two of them. The woman was hit, but fortunately, police say she should survive. The driver of the truck left the scene. The truck has front end damage and a broken out passenger window. Police say they do believe the victims knew the driver of that truck.
Some developing news now as we continue to follow the heartbreaking massacre at a gay nightclub in Orlando. 48 of the victims who were killed have now been identified by authorities.
And federal investigators are looking into the background of the 29-year-old gunman after he shot more than 100 people early yesterday morning, leaving 49 others dead and himself as well. Officials say Omar Mateen from Fort Pierce, Florida, used to work as a security guard. The gunman's father recalls his son getting angry after seeing two men kissing in Miami recently. Investigators spoke with Mateen's ex-wife as well, who says she left him just 4 months into their marriage after he began abusing her.
He was mentally unstable and mentally ill. That's the only explanation that I could give, and he was obviously disturbed, deeply and traumatized.
Initially, investigators believed Mateen may have been an ISIS recruit, but further investigation revealed that experts believe he may have self-radicalized. Authorities are still trying to identify all of the victims, but they're almost done with that very difficult job. You can find the latest information on this entire tragic incident on our website, newschannel5.com. And hundreds turned out at Public Square Park in Nashville last night to honor the victims of the Orlando terror attack. Nashville Mayor Megan Barry was there along with other elected leaders and Metro Police. Those at the gathering said the attacks in Orlando were not only an act of terror, they were also an act of hate.
My son's only 4, so it's rough. It's like imagining that this is what he has to grow up in. Like, this is the kind of experience he's going to get used to seeing, and it's awful.
Many at last night's vigil at the Public Square Park also marched down Church Street in a planned rally that started just ahead of it. Steve.
Jennifer, a big story that's happening here in the mid-state today. The Vanderbilt rape retrial begins for the former football player at Vanderbilt, Brandon Vandenberg, you see pictured there. A jury from Memphis is going to be bussed here to Nashville this time to decide whether he raped an unconscious student in a dorm room 3 years ago. Co-defendant Corey Beatty was found guilty on several counts just a couple of months back. And you'll remember both men were found guilty on all counts last year, but the judge declared a mistrial after a juror revealed that he had lied about being a former victim of sexual assault. We will, of course, have gavel-to-gavel coverage starting at 9 o'clock this morning, just less than 2 hours from right now, right here on the Plus. And, of course, we'll have it online at newschannel5.com. And also today, another court case. Bradley Madden will go before a judge. His father, Timothy, is accused of kidnapping, raping, and killing 7-year-old Gabby Doolin in Kentucky, a story we covered extensively that just rocked southern Kentucky. Bradley allegedly confessed to posting threatening messages on the Scottsville PD Facebook page after his dad's arrest. The 20-year-old is facing more than 30 counts, including terroristic threatening. Jennifer?
Happening now, we are still working to get details of an attempted water rescue at Percy Priest Lake. This was last night near Party Cove. So far, there's no word of who rescue crews were searching for or exactly what might have happened to them. Stay with News Channel 5 as we work to gather more information.